In 1965, an elderly gentleman stood on a freighter in Boston Harbor and wrote this prayer. How will I make them understand this message of Krishna consciousness? I am very unfortunate, unqualified, and the most fallen. Somehow or other, O Lord, you have brought me here to speak about you. Now, my Lord, it is up to you to make me a success or failure as you like. 12 years later, Hare Krishna was a household word. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada had been more than successful. He had founded the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, a worldwide confederation of over 100 ashrams, schools, temples, and farm communities, and had made the chanting of Hare Krishna familiar to millions of people. He had written and published over 80 volumes of translation and commentary on self-realization, which are now standard in universities and libraries around the world, and he had gathered about him thousands of dedicated disciples. Srila Prabhupada became known to the world as a scholar, philosopher, social critic, and spiritual leader. But to his disciples, Srila Prabhupada was dearmost friend, father, and inner guide. The importance of the spiritual master to his disciples cannot be overstated. It is said that only by the mercy of the spiritual master can one receive the benediction of Krishna, and without the grace of the spiritual master, one cannot make any spiritual advancement. So the disciple's entire life focuses on the spiritual master and his instructions. In this relationship, the activities of the spiritual master are of monumental importance to his devotees. A disciple finds meaning even in the smallest gesture. Wherever he traveled, Srila Prabhupada would emerge daily into the chill and quiet of the early morning, and cloaked in a warm wrap, he would take a lengthy stroll with an entourage of students, disciples, and guests. Some mornings would find Srila Prabhupada immersed in contemplation or a quiet appreciation of natural scenery. At other times, Srila Prabhupada would speak at great length and often with considerable intensity on various subjects. During these animated discourses, Srila Prabhupada would turn the profound Vedic philosophy into a practical cutting edge that penetrated every sphere of life and thought. The word acharya means one who teaches by example, and the following unedited footage provides an intimate glimpse into the exemplary life of Srila Prabhupada. To most people, the daily activities of a spiritual master are a mystery, and it is interesting to see how such an important historical figure conducted his everyday affairs. What emerges is an endearing portrait of an authentic spiritual personality.
Is that escaping, or it is intelligent? That you work hard and give it to me, we enjoy. This is intelligent, that is not escaping. That is going on. The capitalists, they are engaging these rascals, asses, in the factory, and he is enjoying life. So that is intelligence. They let these rascals work hard and make a nice path for us, and we shall take advantage of it. This is intelligence. And it is called Ajagar Vritti. Ajagar Vritti, Ajagar means the big snake is called Ajagar. So these mounds, they make hole and want to live there. And the company is living, in the meantime the Ajagar comes, he eats that mouse and leaves country. Our is Ajagar Vritti. You work for the whole to live comfortably, but we take possession of the house and live comfortably.
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन जमुना तीर बनचारी जमुना तीर बनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यमुना तीर बनचारी यमुना तीर बनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय मुस्पात परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य सत्तर सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी भगवान की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय, रामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तमंड की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण मोह गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय, नवदीप धाम की जय, गंगा माई की जय, जमुना माई की जय, गुरु द्वारका धाम की जय, स्वामी तो भक्तबिंद की जय। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द असम्बली, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द असम्बली। थैंक यू वेरी मच। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। This is a conversation between Maharaj Parikshit and Sukadeva Goswami. Maharaj Parikshit, 5,000 years ago, he was the emperor of the whole world. Formerly, up to 5,000 years ago, the whole world was being controlled and ruled over by kings whose capital was Hastinapur, New Delhi. There was only one flag, only one ruler, one scripture, Vedic scripture, and the Aryans, the Arya, they were the civilized persons. You, Europeans, Americans, you are also Aryans, Indo-European stock. Maharaj H.D.G, grandson of Maharaj Parikshit, he gave to his two sons the portion of Eastern Europe, Greek and Roman. That is the history. Mahabharata. Mahabharata means great India. So, there was no different religion, one religion, Vedic religion. Vedic religion means to accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the Supreme Person, Absolute Truth. This is Vedic religion. Those who have read Bhagavad Gita, it is said there in the 15th chapter, Vedaishta sarvai ahamiva vedyam. Vedic knowledge means to understand God. This is Vedic. Later on, with the progress of Kali Yuga, Kali Yuga means the dark age or the sinful age, or the age for argument, unnecessary talks and fight. This is called Kali Yuga. That is going on. Since the last 5,000 years, the Kali Yuga has begun, and the beginning of Kali Yuga was cow slaughtering. So, at the present moment, practically there is no Brahmin, no Kshatriya, no Vaishya, only Shudras, fourth class men. So you cannot expect any happiness guided by the fourth class men. That is not possible. Therefore, throughout the whole world, there is chaotic condition. Nobody is happy. So, this is essential the human society must be divided into 4 divisions. The Brahmin class means the first class ideal man, so that by the seeing their character, their behavior, others will try to follow. Jajjad acharati shrestha. So this Krishna consciousness movement means we are trying to create some first class man. This is Krishna consciousness, this movement. So, therefore, we have got these rules and regulations. No illicit sex, no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling. This is the preliminary qualification of a first class man.
Prabhupada? Prabhupada, on our tape recorder here that we have, we can make it so you can play nicely, and then later on at our own time, we will take to play the Madanga and Kartals nicely. This way we won't waste any of your time. Do you think that's a good idea?
They can read love over the tape.
See, we can, after you are gone, at our own time, we can play nicely. Do you think that is a good idea or not?
I do not know.
We think it will...
I am not an expert.
Well, if we can't get someone to play drum
we
would
like to do that.
You want to try?
We would like to do it like that, Prabhupada.
Can do that?
No, if we
Yes.
get to...
Gudange don't do tea for them. Just try. My father wanted me to become like this. Know everything, what is going on. He never wanted me to be a worldly man, earning money. He never wanted. There was some arrangement for my going to England after my college education to become barrister. My father refused. No, my son is not going to be a mlecha. So, past, present, future, you exist. The body changes. Is it not clear?
That's clear.
Yeah. So therefore, the conclusion that when he'll not have this body, he'll have another body. You are sitting here. If you don't sit here, you go. That does not mean you are sitting, opportunity is lost. You are sitting here, you sit somewhere. Similarly, the change of body is going on. Therefore, the conclusion is that after you give up this body, you'll have another body, as you have already done. What is the difficulty to understand?
The seeming difficulty is that while the body is different from that of a boy.
Different body must be different, therefore that is called change of body. Unless it is a different body, where is the change?
The memory is there, the boy, and or the spirit is there.
The memory, sometimes we may not remember, just like this child, he may not have memory when he was very small, but you have got memory. You know, when he was a small child, you are doing something, or he was playing with some cats and dogs, but he does not remember that. But you remember it. So,
simply because he has forgotten, does that mean that the incidences were not present? So this argument is not very strong because I cannot remember. You do not remember so many things. Huh? But the fact is this, that you are changing from this body to this body to this body. Therefore the conclusion should be, that after this body I will accept another body. And that's the fact. As you have accepted in this life from one body to another body, there is a process how to accept it. Similarly, under the same process, you accept another body when this body is no longer useful. Just like at night, you give up this body, you take your subtle body and you go to somewhere. You are sleeping in your room, but you are working in a different place. Don't you do that? So, because this body is still useful, therefore you come to back again this body, and in the morning you wake up with this body. So death means when this body is useless, you do not come to this body, you accept another body. This is called death. That subtle body takes you from this body to the womb of another mother by nature's direction, that this soul shall get this kind of body. So the soul is entered in the womb of another mother's body, and then the body is prepared by the mother's blood and flesh, and when the body is sufficiently capable of working itself, then it comes again and begins its work. This is birth and death. The soul is eternal. Therefore, a sober man should think, why should I change my body? Why this trouble I shall take? That is human sense. If I am eternal, why not my eternal body? Eternal existence, why shall I die? This is human sense. Unless one comes to this understanding, he is animal. Because animal, by nature's law, is going on. He does not know. Then a human form of body, when he understands that I'll have to change this body, I'll have to get another body, then the question is, what kind of body I shall get? That is human intelligence. By nature's way, we are getting body, but that is on the selection of the nature according to my work. If I work like animal, I get animal body. If I work as demigod, I get demigod body. If I act as trees, then you get tree body. If you acted like dog, you get dog's body. Nature's way. Therefore you find so many varieties of body. His philosophy does not appeal. Natural. I want to love. It is not unnatural. When that love is reposed to Krishna, that is what the Mayavadi, they are frustrated. Therefore they want to make this love into judo. They cannot understand Krishna's love with gopis. They think it is another edition of this material. Oh. How are you? Are you good, Prabhu? How are you? You look better. You are looking better, brighter, when I saw you leaving last week. You have got so much talent for serving Krishna. Everyone has that. That I am speaking. We are good tonight. So that modern man can understand. Otherwise, we are repeating the same thing. They are repeating also same thing. Sense gratification. Punak punak charvita charvanana. But because that is material, they are not getting happiness. But the spiritual thing, we are chanting the same Hare Krishna, simply, repeating, but we are getting transcendental bliss. What we are doing? Same Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So, process is the same, the subject matter is different. So why you are behind publication? Now all the big men are here. Why our books are behind? So, if we wait for another birth, maybe we may not get even Bharat Maharaj. He also slipped, he became a deer. So we should always keep vigilant. We have got this opportunity, human form of life. Let us utilize it to the fullest extent and be fit for going back to home. That is intelligence. Not that, all right, I shall get again chance next month. That is not very good policy. Turnam. Turnam means very hastily finish. Turnam jateta anamukta paseta javat. Then these people are wasting time. They are resounding some sound, thinking that this sound will say, this is called foolishness, mura. Ask them that why you are sounding so loudly, chant Hare Krishna. They laugh.
What did Bhaktivinoda Thakur mean when he said, I'm going my work unfinished? And Bhaktivinoda Thakur stated that he was leaving this planet with his work unfinished.
Let us finish. We are descendants of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He get unfinished so that we shall get the chance to finish it. That is his mercy. He could have finished immediately. He's Vaishnava, he's all powerful.
Vande Gurasi Charanarabindam Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nitya Gita
In 1965, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, a Vedic scholar and holy man in the renounced order of life, left India for America to transform a bold vision into a historical reality of global dimension. To fulfill the desire of generations of Indian saints who wished to see India's timeless spiritual culture benefit the entire world, Srila Prabhupada left India and sailed to the United States. When he arrived by freighter, he was practically penniless, but after nearly a year of struggle, he established the International Society for Krishna Consciousness in July of 1966. In the years that followed, the society grew rapidly, and Hare Krishna became familiar to millions of people. Srila Prabhupada became the focal point for the public's interest in the Hare Krishna movement, but he was never too busy to carefully answer any question. And with each and every encounter, he would open the doors to the ancient philosophical and spiritual knowledge of India. An acharya is one who teaches by example. By his personal example, Srila Prabhupada demonstrated that the soul, the self, is naturally eternal, full of knowledge, and full of transcendental bliss. When a living being is awakened to his original constitutional position of Krishna consciousness, he becomes filled with sublime, exalted spiritual emotions that have no material counterpart. As a great self-realized and God-conscious saint, Srila Prabhupada often exhibited the spiritual happiness that Krishna describes in the Bhagavad Gita. That sacred and ancient fountainhead of wisdom has this to say about the final state of human perfection. In that joyous state, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness and enjoys himself through transcendental senses. Established thus, one never departs from the truth, and upon gaining this, he knows there is no greater gain.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You founded the Hare Krishna movement some 7 years ago in 1967, did you not?
Yes.
In a capsule, what is the movement?
The movement is to awaken God consciousness of the human being. The human being is distinguished from the animals, that the animals cannot understand what is God.
Mm-hmm.
And if the human being also does not understand what is God, then he is animal.
I see. And so your movement is to bring about an understanding of God among human beings.
Yes.
And Hare Krishna means what?
Hare Krishna means addressing the energy of God. Hare means the energy of God, and Krishna means God.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you were here yesterday, and to attend your annual festival that was held here in Golden Gate Park, and we were there too. And in fact, here it is. A few thousand people came out to hear it. How many people are now disciples of the Krishna consciousness movement?
Dedicated life, about 10,000.
About 10,000 dedicated
in
ones.
the Western world.
Your Grace, is there any significance at all in the shaved head? Why are heads shaved?
We keep ourselves very clean, that's all.
Oh, it's just a cleanliness thing?
Yes.
Is there any significance in the color of the robes?
At least at the present moment, people think that by keeping long hair, it becomes very beautiful.
I see.
Yes. So we are against it.
Just as simple as that. Is there any significance in the yellow robes?
Yellow robe is the dress, those who are dedicated.
It could very well have been a blue robe. It's just something that was arrived at.
This saffron.
Your Grace, why do you feel that so many people are pulling away from the traditional religions in this country, such as Christianity and so forth, and going for the trying to understand the Eastern religions? We hear a lot of swamis and gurus and other type of yogi and so forth. Why do you feel that people are pulling away from the traditional Christian standards here?
But we see that the Christian churches, especially I've seen in London, mostly closed. People are not interested, or the Christian leaders, they cannot make them interested.
Why? Did Christianity fail the people, which is why they're turning to other things? Or?
I think so.
You say that Hare Krishna consciousness pretty much takes the absolute truths from the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, and the Vedic.
Yeah, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Religion means to understand God.
I understand, but do you feel that in getting truths from various places like the Bible and the Quran and so forth, don't you run into conflicts at all or contradictions in those particular philosophies?
No, I don't find any conflict, because the ultimate goal is God. So you have to understand God and try to love Him. So you can go through any religious process. If the goal is attained, that you understand what is goal, and you try to love Him, then your life is perfect.
Why do we see so many of your followers chanting almost all the time?
Chanting means to keep association with God always.
So you have to audibly chant Hare Krishna?
Yes. This is transcendental vibration. Just like a radio message, if you keep contact with the radio message, then you know everything what is going on outside. Similarly, this transcendental sound, Hare Krishna, if you chant, then you keep connection with God directly.
Thank you very much, Your Divine Grace. It's been our privilege to talk with you and to meet you.
Thank you.
And hope that we can see you again when you return.
Hare Krishna. Yeah.
We'll be back with more news in just a moment.
Daiva tripting bhajata sadaiva. Daiva tripting bhajata sadaiva. Vande Guru Sri Charanarabindam. Vande Guru Sri Charanarabindam.
Very much happy because these American boys are helping. Due to their cooperation, the movement is spread all over the world.
Where will you go from here?
In America? What is the date I entered? In Hawaii?
She's asking where you will go after Dallas.
Where will you visit?
Oh, from Dallas, I'll go to New Virginia.
West Virginia.
West Virginia?
From there, I shall go to London.
Are you pleased with the Krishna movement in the United States? Do you think it's growing?
What do you think?
I think it is. And this pleases you.
It is growing very fast.
Do you
Not
think...
only growing, but growing very fast. And the flowers of your country, the young generation, they're taking it very serious. These boys, these girls, they're taking it very serious.
Do you think that the children you see here will carry on?
We are creating another generation, Krishna conscious. So it will continue.
What does Krishna offer that some of the other religious beliefs of the world?
Krishna is God. So other religion who follow God consciousness, so there is no difference. It may be different some name, but religion means God consciousness. Without God consciousness, there is no religion.
And what does worshiping in your way, is it any better than worshiping in another way? Is it a more direct contact with Krishna?
Well, every way is nice, provided the followers are nice. Unfortunately, the principles are not followed. Just like in Christian religion, it is said, thou shalt not kill. But killing is very good thing here in the Christian world. Killing simply. So many slaughterhouses. That is not Christian religion. But followers, they do not follow the rules and regulations. That is regretted. Otherwise, it is very nice. Our also principle is no meat eating. That means there is no killing of animals. Every religion says like that, but the followers do not follow.
The Krishna religion teaches that women are to be subservient to men always. Why?
The Krishna religion teaches that women should be subservient, should be subordinate to men. He's asking why.
Well, not should be, they are, by nature. What do you think, your position?
I don't believe in that, of course. I disagree.
But if voluntarily become subservient to a man, that is the nature.
Does that make them less of a being?
They're seeking to become subservient, attracting man. Take me as subservient. That is natural. Even psychologically, it is analyzed that the brain of man is up, they have seen up to 64 ounces, whereas the brain of woman, they have not found more than 36 ounces.
But women live longer than men.
Huh?
Women live longer than men.
Not necessarily.
So
yes,
we've got you.
Sometimes it is. My grandmother lived about 100 years. My mom. So sometimes it happens.
You see, now how
It is not restricted amongst women. There are men also.
How old is the movement?
But from historical point of view, it is about 5,000 years old.
Why has it just begun to really catch on in the Western world? I mean, just recently, in recent years, has it begun to sweep the Western world? Why is this?
The Western people were seeking something like that. So as soon as they got it, they captured it. The Western world, the younger generation were being frustrated, the hippie movement. So when they saw something tangible, they accepted it.
What things would, if everyone in the United States believed in Krishna to the extent that you do, what would happen to this country? How would it be transformed?
They'll be very happy and peaceful. There will be no more hippies.
What would you describe as a hippie? Someone who smokes...
You know better than me. Something extraordinary.
Do you feel like that how do you respond to this? How should people who follow your, your beliefs, how should they respond to other people who are criticizing them and, for the way that they...
This criticism, you criticize me, I criticize you. That is going on. Even there is no change of dress. It is man's nature to become envious, to criticize others. That is material nature.
So you think that they're envious because they're criticizing?
Yes.
Because of the happiness that the people have?
Certainly. Sometimes they inquire, are you Americans? Because they never saw Americans so peaceful. And in the priests also, they very much appreciate. In Melbourne, the Bishop of Melbourne and the head of the Scottish Church and many church people, they very much appreciate them. Invited me and talked. In a society on the San Francisco, there were hundreds of fathers. The meeting was attended. I spoke for 1 hour, and they very much appreciated. I applauded for 10 minutes, and they accepted. And Reverend Powell, he gave declaration that we have no alarm from the Krishna movement.
Do you, this is your 3rd visit to Dallas, is that correct?
I think
3 or 4.
Third.
Why was Dallas selected as the point to establish the school? I believe this is the first school, isn't it, in the United States to be established? Why was Dallas particularly chosen for the school?
That's Krishna's choice.
Krishna's choice. He chose Dallas.
Yes, we got a nice house, and we accepted. So it was Krishna's choice.
Where does the Krishna National or the International Krishna Organization get its funds? From simply donations? They've been criticized occasionally for being very wealthy.
Yeah, that is our reputation. Even in Indian Parliament, this question was raised. That these Hare Krishna people, fabulously rich, where they get money. Somebody suspected that we are getting bribes from American government. What is that, CIA? So if you are theologians, then you must know what is God and abide by God. What do you think, Dr. Judah?
Pardon?
What do you think, this proposition?
Yes, well, I think you're quite right. I think that it is certainly in our day and age, many of us don't really know God.
Then he's not theologist. He's theosophic.
We know about God, but we do not know God. I would agree.
That is theosophy. Theosophy is they're thinking there is something superior. But who is that superior? They're searching. The same thing. A boy, he knows I have a father. But who is my father? That I don't know. But that you have to ask his father. Alone he cannot understand. So our proposition is that if you do not know God, and here is God, Krishna, why don't you accept it? You do not know, first of all. And if I present here is God, then why don't you accept it? What is the answer? We are presenting God. Here is God. And big acharyas have accepted. Ramanucharya, Madhvacharya, Vishnu SWAMI, Lord Chaitanya, and our disciplic successor, my Guru Maharaj, and I am preaching, he is God. I am not presenting a God whimsical. I am presenting a God who is recognized. So why don't you accept? What is the difficulty?
I suppose one of the difficulties for certainly many in the older generation is that we follow certain patterns of life, and it is difficult to change. This is the great problem.
Therefore Krishna said, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sar. You have to give up.
That's right.
If you are not prepared to give up, then you cannot accept God.
I think you're being a little unfair to Dr. Crossley. I think what you say is true, that it's the most important thing we can do is to seek and know God. But I don't think it's right to say that it's a bad thing to study how other people or how man has...
I don't say bad thing.
Yeah.
I say if you are serious about God, now here is God.
That's what a university in part is for, to study about how people have thought on different matters.
I would say if you are seeking after something, if you get that something, why don't you accept?
Do you believe that Christ said that Krishna was his father?
The name may be different. It's like in our country we say this flower something, we say something. But subject matter must be the same. Name is not. You can say any different, as you understand. The God is one. God cannot be two. You may give him different names. That is different. But God is one. God cannot be two. You pay tax to the government, and the tax is distributed in so many departments. So it is not your business to go every department and pay tax. Pay to the treasury of the government, it will be distributed. This is intelligence. And if you say that why shall I pay to the treasury house? I shall pay this department, that department, that department, that department. You can go on, but it will never be sufficient. Neither complete. So you may love humanity, but because you do not love Krishna, therefore do not love the cows, you send them around. So your love will remain defective. It will never be complete. And if you love Krishna, then you love him, the small ant. He'll not interested in to kill him with an ant. That is real love.
I agree with you that we love very badly and we slaughter the animals.
So badly love is not love.
But is the converse true, that we chant very well and that we can love Krishna even when we cannot love our fellow people?
We are chanting, we are also working. It is not that.
You're simply sitting down and chanting. Because you're chanting, therefore you're loving everyone. That's a fact. These Hare Krishna chanters, they never agree to kill any animal, even a plant, because they know everything is part and parcel of God. Why unnecessarily one should be killed? That is love.
Love means never killing?
There are so many things. It is one of the items. Yes, that's why. Do you kill your own son? Why? Because you love him.
Would you explain the other side of it? The fact that, of course, the Bhagavad Gita has its setting on a battlefield in which Krishna enjoins Arjuna.
That killing and poor animal who is supplying milk, you are drinking milk, your mother, and you are killing. This killing and that killing is not the same thing. According to Vedic civilization, the cow is to be given a special protection. Why? It is recommended for the cow. It does not say of other animals.
Srila Prabhupada, you are aware that they advanced the argument of mesmerization against chanting.
That's good. That's good. If you can mesmerize, that is, Dr. Judas admitted, that you can mesmerize the drug-addicted hippies and engage them in understanding Krishna. It's a great achievement.
Commercials.
Yes.
It's not mesmerization.
Whatever it may be. Dr. Judas admitted. So, if mesmerization is for good, why not accept it? If it is for bad, then it is anything. If it is doing good, why not accept it? What do you think?
I don't know how to react. I think I agree with you.
If it is good, everything good should be accepted.
No problem. I keep wondering how you're so sure you know what good is, particularly when it comes to war. I would be a little more worried, I think, that...
what is that word?
Well, when you were telling that sometimes war is necessary, I should think that it's important to know how to decide when...
Well, necessary means you cannot expect in this material world all saintly persons. There are bad elements. So if a bad element comes to attack you, is it not your duty to fight and protect?
So it just may be, though, that mine are the bad elements, and I keep thinking that other people are the bad elements.
Yeah.
That's right.
Even God has got this discrimination. He says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya cha dushkitam. There are bad elements. In God's mind, there is good element, bad element. So we are part and parcel of God. We must have also the same sentiment. You cannot avoid it.
The body is not divided.
Yeah.
He's saying that when we say everything is part of God, the body is an exception. He says the body then is an exception. The body is not part of God?
No, why? Body is also part.
Yes, the body is also part.
Yeah, that's it, I explained.
Maya Shakti.
Yes, it is another energy.
I see.
Inferior energy.
Inferior energy.
Everything is God's energy.
The body is also God's energy. The best use of the body is God's energy should be utilized for God. Then it is body spiritualized. Body is also God's energy. And if it is engaged in God's service, then the body is no more bad bargain, it is a good bargain.
Sangsara davanandalira loka Taraya karuna ghana ghanatyam Prapta sakalana gunana vasha Vande Guru Sri Charanarabindam